The passage we're looking at this morning comes from the 4th chapter of Paul's letter to the Philippians. We know it as the letter to the Philippians, but a 2nd century Christian writer refers to letters, plural, which Paul wrote to Philippi. Many scholars think that at least 2 letters to that church might have been copied as the one that we have. And the portion of the letter that we're looking at today is one reason they think so. At the beginning of chapter 3, Paul says, "Finally, my brethren, rejoice in the Lord." Sounds like he's winding things up, doesn't it? And then in verse 2 of that chapter, he goes off on a kind of a rant. Look out for the dogs, look out for the evil workers, and so on. And the rest of this chapter may actually be another letter addressing divisions in this church, which has been blended into the letter that we're looking at during the process of copying and recopying. At the beginning of chapter 4, Paul addresses several people by name, which he typically does at the end of a letter. Then in the passage we're reading today, he picks up where he was in 3:1. You could take out chapter 3, verse 2, down to chapter 4, verse 3, and what was left would read smoothly. The word translated rejoice in chapter 4, verse 4 is chairete, which in Greek does mean rejoice, but also was used to say farewell. In verse 8, Paul uses another word, a Greek word, which is somewhat difficult to translate and explain. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, excellent is the word I'm looking at here. The Greek word arete, which is sometimes translated virtue, is the word that he's using here. It appears, this is the only time Paul uses the word. The only other places it appears in the New Testament are in 1 Peter 2 and 2 Peter 1. But it is a common word in the Greek philosophical tradition, which formed the basis of education at that time. As Plato used it, it might be understood as the essential characteristic of a thing, what the thing really is. The joy and peace which Paul talks about in this passage are the arete, the essential characteristic of a Christian. So let's read this short passage now as it's found in your bulletin. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. This is the word of the Lord.